Good morning, students. This is KG Misra. I'm here again with new video for class 10th, second part of the chapter magnetic effects of current. This is second video. Okay, first video I think I already have sent you. You might have gone through it. Okay, I think all of you are fine and taking care of yourself as well as your family also. Okay, with that, let us start. We have already discussed about the magnetic field lines. Okay, and we have discussed about its properties also. Now see, wherever you find the magnetic field lines are parallel, okay, and equispaced. Equispaced means whatever space is there between these two, the same should be the space between the second and third. This should be same. If the space is same and the lines are parallel to each other, then we say it has got this area, this region has got uniform magnetic field. Magnetic field. Okay. And if the lines are non-uniform and non-equispaced, then we say non-uniform magnetic field. Okay. If they are uniform and equispaced, then it is uniform magnetic field. If they are non-equispaced, neither they are parallel, we can say it is non-uniform magnetic field. Okay. This in this way we represent uniform magnetic field and non-uniform magnetic field. Now, already we have discussed that Hans Christian Ørsted, he has told that every current carrying conductor behaves as a magnet. Okay. So now, when a wire is carrying current, suppose in this direction, so does it behave like a magnet? If it behaves like a magnet, then obviously there should be magnetic field lines. Okay. Now, what should be the pattern of magnetic field lines? How to find that? What is the way to find that? And is there any activity to find that? Yes, there is. That's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. See, here we are going to discuss a rule, okay, which is called as right hand thumb rule. Okay. This rule will help us to find the pattern of magnetic field lines due to a current carrying conductor. Okay. Now see, what does this rule states? Let us write the statement and then we will discuss how it can be used. Okay. So first write the statement. It states that when a straight current carrying conductor, it states that when a straight current carrying conductor is supposed to be held by our right hand such that the current is flowing along the direction of stretched thumb, comma, then the curling fingers gives the direction of magnetic field oblique magnetic field lines. Okay. Now what does it mean? Suppose this is the wire and in this wire current is flowing in the upward direction. So what we have to do? We have to suppose that, okay, as if we are holding this. We don't have to hold, okay? We have to just suppose. And such that our this thumb must be stretched in the direction of current. See, it is also stretched in the upward direction and current in this is flowing in the upward direction. Now our curling fingers, they used to give the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Now this side of the wire, my fingers are going inside this side. Okay, it is going towards the board. So magnetic field is towards the board. And this side, what happens? See, the fingers are coming out. You can see when I'm holding, the fingers are coming out this side of the chalk. Okay, so it indicates that magnetic field is towards you. Okay, and when the magnetic field is inside, we write it like this. And when magnetic field is outside, we write it like this. This indicates perpendicularly inward. This indicates perpendicularly outward. Do you know why it is like this? You might have seen Ramayana. Nowadays it was giving on this Doordarshan channel. Have you seen the arrow? Okay, you have got this four are there, okay, on the four sides, so that you can attach with the string and release it, okay, to fire the arrow from the bow. Now, when this arrow is coming towards you, what will be visible to you? Only this point. So see, this arrow is coming towards you. It is indicating direction towards you. And when this arrow is shot in the board and it has gone inside the board, what will be visible to you? Only these four. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it indicates inside. Okay. Now, what you have written? Then curling finger gives the direction of magnetic field line. Okay. So when you are holding this wire like this, suppose this is the straight wire, okay, and what you will find when you are holding it is going like this, so it will be magnetic pattern of magnetic field lines will be circular. Okay, and what will direction? Direction is, see, finger is going like this. It is starting from this side and going like this, no? So arrow will be like this. And when it is going like this, so it will come like this. Okay. Now, if the direction of current is reversed in the wire, suppose wire is carrying current in the downward direction, then what will happen? Let's see. You are going to hold it like this because thumb should be in direction of current. Okay. This is I. So thumb should be in direction of current. This is I. So when the thumb should be in the direction of current, see, our fingers are going like first backward and then coming ahead. So again it will be circular, but this time the direction of arrow will change. It will going first in and then coming out. It is going in and it is coming out. It is going in and it is coming out like this. So I think you got the pattern of magnetic field lines in case of straight current carrying conductor. Okay, clear? That's how this right hand thumb rule helps us. But my dear children, it has got one more part. So you can write part 2. What is that part 2? Okay, start writing. When in case of a circular current carrying conductor, in case of circular current carrying conductor, okay, listen, see, it can be circular, it can be rectangular, it can be square, doesn't matter. Okay, it should be a closed current carrying conductor. Okay, so better you write in case of closed current carrying conductor, when right hand is placed such that, when right hand is placed such that the curling fingers are along the direction of current in the conductor, then the stretched thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. Then the stretched thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. Full stop. See here. This is a circular wire. Suppose current is flowing in this like this. So what you have to do? We have to keep our hand such that these fingers represent this direction of current. So curling fingers are representing direction of current. So thumb is indicating an upward direction. You can see. So its magnetic field is directed in upward direction. Okay. What about this? Suppose current is flowing in this direction. You can see the direction of current is this. Okay. So we have to keep our hand such that our curling fingers are in this direction. See, it is going like this, then coming back. No, going, then coming. So thumb is inside. So the direction of magnetic field is inside. For inside, what we do? Cross. Okay. For outside, what we can write? We can write here another way. We can write here dot. So magnetic field is coming out. It is in the outward direction. Magnetic field is inside direction. Okay. What do you find when the magnetic field is outward? When magnetic field is away from you? When it is towards you? When it is away from you? See here. When the current is in the anti-clockwise direction, then it is towards you. And when it is in clockwise direction, it is inside the board. Okay. Now, note one more thing. When you have got a circular loop, okay, or rectangular loop, whatever is there, doesn't matter, and you find the current flowing in it is anti-clockwise, then it produces north pole this side. Okay. And it produces south pole on the back side. Why? Because when the current appears to be clockwise, then it produces this side south pole. Now see, suppose, okay, see, you can see this bangle, okay, suppose this bangle, current is flowing like this, okay, you can see it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. Is it anti-clockwise? No, it is clockwise, oh, because see, clock moves like this, it is clockwise. Now, I will just keep on moving my hand like this only. I will just change the direction. Now tell me, it is clockwise or anti-clockwise? Is it clockwise? No, it is anti-clockwise. So, I am moving my hand in the same way, but what do you find from this side? It is clockwise, and from this side, it is anti-clockwise. So, when the current is flowing in this coil in a particular direction, from one side it will appear to clockwise, and from other side it will appear to you as anti-clockwise. So, from the side it appears to you anti-clockwise, that side it will form its north pole, and the side from which it will appear to you clockwise, it will form its south pole. So that means every current carrying coil behaves as a magnet, because see, it has got both the poles, north pole as well as south pole. Got my point? Okay. So see, magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor. Okay. Now see, suppose you have got a wire, okay, and which is carrying current I. Okay. Now it will produce its magnetic field around it. So what will be the strength of that magnetic field? What will be the value of that magnetic field? That we are going to discuss here. Okay. So first thing, the magnetic field produced by it will be proportional to current. That means if more current is flowing through the wire, the magnetic field will be very strong. If less current is flowing through the wire, the magnetic field will be weak one. Okay. Also what we find, no, V is proportional to 1 by R. What is R? Suppose you want to find magnetic field at this point. So what is the distance? This distance is R. So what do you find here? B is inversely proportional to R. That means if you are choosing the point away from it, then what will happen? Magnetic field will be less. Because when R is more, R will be more, and you will choose this point away from it, then R will be more, and then magnetic field will be lesser. And when you choose this point nearer to this wire, what will happen? R will be lesser. As R is less, magnetic field will be more. Okay. So from this is 1 and this is 2. From 1 and 2, what we get? From 1 and 2, what we get? B is proportional to I upon R. Okay. That means more current, and at the nearest point, the magnetic field will be highest. But remember, on this wire, on the wire, there will be no magnetic field. Okay. It will be outside the wire only, not on the wire. Okay. Now next we are going to discuss magnetic field due to a current carrying circular loop. Okay. See, suppose you have got a circular loop, and this is carrying current I. Okay. Going through this. Now what will happen? How much magnetic field it will produce? For that, see, B is proportional to I. First thing, More the current is flowing, more will the magnetic field. It is similar to that of straight wire, no? Second thing, B is inversely proportional to R. If the radius is more, then magnetic field is less. Okay. This is the second thing. And third thing, what you find? B is proportional to N. Now, what is this N? See, this is only one turn. Suppose you have got a coil like this. This is one turn. This is second turn. This is third turn. Like this, you've got a bundle of number of turns. Okay. So, more the number of turns, more strong magnetic field will be there. And that's why you will find in the fans and other places, no, winding is done. That means wires are wrapped like this. This is called winding. So that more number of turns are there. Okay. In this way, you can keep a longer wire in a very small place or small space. And you can have a, with lesser current also, you can have a strong magnetic field. So from these three, what we get? We can get B is proportional to N I upon R. Okay. Got it? See, this is a current carrying circular loop. You can see this positive is connected here. So current will start from here and it will go like this, go like this, go like this, and come like this. Okay, it will go to the negative terminal. Now you want to find the, or you want to draw the pattern of magnetic field lines for this. So what you have to do? You have to use right hand thumb rule. Just imagine that you are holding the wire like this, because the current is going in this direction. So your thumb should be in this direction. When your thumb is in this direction, see how you are holding. First you are getting your finger inside and then your finger is coming out. See, it's coming out. Okay. So pattern of magnetic field line will be like this. It is going in and then coming out. Going in and then coming out. Okay. Going in, going in. Okay. Now this side, when current coming to this side, see what will happen? You have to keep your thumb downward. See, current is going this way. Downward. Your finger is going in and then coming out. So it is going in from this side and from this side it is coming out. It is going in from this side, okay, and it is coming out from this side. Okay, so you can like this, okay, and it is coming out from this side. Okay, so this is the pattern of magnetic field lines due to a circular loop. In this way you can draw the pattern of magnetic field lines using your right hand thumb rule. Okay. See, we are going to discuss an activity, okay? Activity. See, what is this activity? Actually, see, we take a cardboard, we make a hole, see, you can see hole is there, and we take a wire like this, okay, straight wire. It can be kept straight up to a certain extent, and then you can bend, no problem at all, okay? Here we are keeping straight, okay, suppose, and later on you can bend it and you can connect here the battery or cell over here, these two, okay, but this will remain straight, okay. As this remains straight, what will happen? Here you have to sprinkle some iron fillings. Iron fillings means small powders of iron, okay, powder. You have to, small amount of powder of iron you have to sprinkle over here, okay. And till this cell is not connected or battery is not connected, no current is flowing. You just tap this, you will find no change at all. Okay. And now what you have to do? You have to connect this with the battery or cell. Then what will happen? The current will start flowing in the wire. And once you tap this, what you will find? You know, the iron fillings will arrange themselves like this. Okay, in the circular form. That's what we have discussed already, no? In this way they will arrange. This indicates that the pattern of magnetic field lines for a straight current carrying conductor is circular in shape. Okay. Okay. Also, that is activity. This is 1, and there is activity 2. That is for circular coil. What you can do? You can just pass through the cardboard, no, like this. An insulating wire is there, okay, no problem at all. Okay, make it little bit circular like this, and these two terminals are kept here. Here a battery is connected, kept, okay, not connected, and over this you have to sprinkle some iron fillings, okay. And what you will find, as you will sprinkle iron fillings and battery is not connected, you tap this, what you will find, iron fillings will remain as it is. And once you connect the battery or cell, current starts flowing. Then when you will tap, you will find they will get arranged like this, okay, in circles, concentric circles around this as well as around this also, in concentric circles, okay. This indicates that what is the pattern of magnetic field lines, which already we have drawn, no, that one. So these were the two activities which are there in your syllabus, okay. See, we are going to discuss about the solenoid. So this word is new, I think, for you, okay. Now see, what is solenoid actually? See, how can you make it? You can take an, actually solenoid, what it is actually, it is, see, it is a cylinder made up of, you can make it of plaster of Paris. It is non-conducting one, okay. And then you have to take a copper wire, okay, and that copper wire should be insulated one. Now, how it can be insulated one? You might be thinking that, okay, plastic coating should be there over it, which can be seen. No, it will be there plastic coating only, but you cannot identify it by seeing. Like, see, you might have seen, no, sometimes your earphone, which you use with your mobile, it stops working. And once you remove the insulation, no, you find wires are there, okay, of copper color. And you try to join it, and then also you find it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because, my dear children, there is insulation over the wire which you cannot see. So how to remove it? You can just light up a matchstick and bring that wire which is of copper color near it. What you will find? Something over it starts burning. And then you will find wire which was under that, no, that comes out, and then you can join, then it will get conducting and it will work. So that means a fine coating is there over the wire which is of copper color, and that's why the copper wire doesn't conduct when connected, because of that coating, because of that is insulating coating. And how it comes? See, actually it comes due to varnish. Varnish actually is a material. You know what people do? Who used to go for a winding, okay? They used to take a long copper wire and put into the solution, and then take it out and keep it for drying. Once it dries, no, a very, very fine layer of insulating material or plastic, you can say, is formed over it. And then you can take that wire and wrap over it like this. So this wire will not get short circuited at all because they are insulated one, okay. So this is called solenoid, okay. And when it is connected to a battery or cell, then what will happen? Current is flowing through this, and you know it has got large number of turns, and current is also flowing this. Its radius is also small. So we know very well B is equals to Ni upon R. Radius is less, number of turns is more, current is flowing. So what will happen? It will behave as a strong magnet. Okay? It will behave as a strong magnet. This is called solenoid. Okay? Now we are going to draw the pattern of magnetic field lines due to this solenoid. Now what will happen? Current is going like this. Current will flow like this. Okay, see, current is going like this, and then it will come like this. So when you are watching from this side, current is going like this and it is coming like this. So it is clockwise or anti-clockwise? Just check it. It is anti-clockwise. So this side it will form north pole. Okay, I'm going to rub this. It will form this side north pole. And obviously from this side, if it is appears to be anti-clockwise, you will see from this side it is coming in this side. Okay, it is going like this, okay. This side you will see. Okay, it is like this. Sorry, it is going like this, and when it comes to this, then it is, so it is clockwise. So when it is clockwise, then it will form here south pole. Now, do you remember in a bar magnet, magnetic field lines come out from north pole and terminate to the south pole outside the magnet? That property. So in the same way here also, the lines will start from north pole and go to the south pole. It's like this. And inside, it will go like this. Here also, it will go like this, come out from north pole and go to the south pole. And inside, it's like this. Okay. And what you will find, the lines are parallel and equidistant inside. Okay. You can draw some more like this. So it is going like this. But here what you find, they are parallel to each other. But here what you find, they are parallel to each other and they are equispaced. So magnetic field inside the solenoid, it is first uniform, second is strong. Why? Because lines are parallel, equispaced, and dense. Okay, and that's why lines are parallel, equispaced, and dense inside the solenoid, and that's why the field is uniform and strong. Uniform means same field is there. If here field is 5 Tesla, here also 5 Tesla, here also 5 Tesla, here also, here also. Okay, same magnetic field is same. Okay, and this is the pattern of magnetic field lines. This pattern is similar to that of bar magnet, and that's why we always compare bar magnet with the solenoid. And sometimes question also asked your examination, board examination, how bar magnet is similar to a solenoid or solenoid is similar to a bar magnet. So you can state simply, when we see inside the bar magnet or a current carrying solenoid, the magnetic field lines are parallel, equispaced, and dense, and same is the case with the bar magnet. And in both of them, therefore the magnetic field is uniform and strong. Okay, whereas outside the end of the solenoid, which is from which current appears to be anti-clockwise, behaves as a north pole, and the end of the current carrying solenoid, from which current appears to be clockwise, behaves as a south pole. Okay, and bar magnet also has got two poles, north and south. Third thing, in bar magnet, the lines start from the north pole and terminate to south pole outside the magnet. Okay, and in solenoid also start from the north pole and terminate to the south pole outside the magnet. And inside the magnet, it moves from the south, enters from the south pole and leaves at north pole. So these are the similarities you can give, and you can draw the diagrams of both to tell the similarities. Okay, so what is the difference? But suppose this time they are going to ask you difference. See, bar magnet actually it is a permanent magnet. Okay, it is not going to lose its magnetic property. Okay, unless you heat it or hammer it, because permanent magnets also lose their property once it is heated or heated, hammered. But what about this? Once you switch off the current, it is demagnetized. It will lose its magnetic property. Okay, magnetic property of bar magnet you cannot increase. Whatever magnetic property it is having, that is it is having. But what about this? If you will increase the number of turns, it will become more stronger. If you increase the amount of current, it will become more stronger magnet. Okay, so these are the differences. Okay, the magnetic field inside the solenoid is very strong, whereas outside it is weak. Now, if you want to make it more stronger, then what you have to do? You have to place a piece of iron inside this. That is cylinder. Okay, cylindrical pipe was there, no, made up of plaster of Paris. Inside that, if you are keeping iron piece, then the magnetic field will become even more stronger. Now, what is the use of this? Why? How we use this? See, it has got very, important use. You have seen bar magnets. You might have seen horseshoe magnets. How they are prepared? See, my dear children, when a piece of iron, nickel or cobalt, okay, that is ferromagnetic substances, are placed inside this cylinder, which is wrapped with copper wire and which is carrying current. Okay, so what will happen? As it is behaving as a magnet, it is producing its very strong magnetic field inside it, and you are placing inside what? A piece of iron. What will happen? Do you know? This iron piece get magnetized if you leave it for, suppose, few hours, 7 to 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. Okay, you are leaving it. Then what will happen? This iron piece get magnetized, and once you are switching off the current after 12 hours and you are taking it out, it will behave as a magnet. This is the way the permanent magnets like bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, and these artificial magnets are made. They are not natural. Remember, they are artificial. Although they are permanent magnets, but they are artificial, man-made. Okay. So if you want to magnetize certain iron articles you are having, you can magnetize in this way, and you can produce magnet, and you can play with it. Have fun also. Okay. So science is not all about boring. It's about fun also. Okay. And it's about comfort also. Okay. So when it is carrying current, so lead is carrying current, then behaves as a magnet, and this type of magnet is called electromagnet. Why? Because it is magnet till current is flowing through this. Electric current is flowing. Okay, that's why it is called electromagnet. Okay. On the other hand, you have got the permanent magnets like bar magnets, horseshoe magnets, and others. Okay. Now see, what is the difference between them? Lots of differences are there. First thing, bar magnet, it is always magnet. Okay, you don't require any current for that. For electromagnet, you require current. Okay, once current is switched off, electromagnet is no more a magnet, but bar magnet will remain magnet. Okay. Third, the strength of the bar magnet is finite. Okay, it is fixed, but magnetic strength of electromagnet can be increased by increasing the current. Okay, you can get the required strength of the magnetic field. Next point, see, when bar magnet is heated, then it loses its property or hammered. But if you are hammering a coil which is carrying current, it is not going to lose its magnetic property, or you are going to heat it, it is not going to its magnetic property unless current is not switched off. Okay, so these are the some differences. So I am giving you a question as homework to write the difference between permanent magnet and electromagnet, and see where these are used. This electromagnet is used in your school bell. Okay, how it is used, that we will discuss in the next class. Till then, take care and keep on studying. Bye bye.